tonight will be Olivia. Can you briefly give a description of your role? Off mute, yes.
Yeah, I'm having some difficulties over here. Good evening, everyone. My name is Olivia, and I've taken the role of general evaluator. And that role, I basically listen to how the how the meeting goes, the time we start and when we finish. I will briefly give my evaluation of how the meeting went, things that we can do it to improve, perhaps if there's some, or anything that just stands out that needs to be addressed. And then I will also call up all of the other evaluators to come up as speech evaluators, and then all the reports will be given for the timer, grammarian. I will also go over the use of the word for the day. So don't forget it's idoneous, which means fit, appropriate, suitable, or proper. And we like to try to use that word as much as possible. So I think it is only idoneous for me to pass the lectern back over to Maurice.
All right, thank you. Our all counter for tonight will be David.
Hi, I will be doing the all counting for tonight. And by that, I mean I will be listening for filler words like or or like, or so, that sort of thing. And I'll keep track of that, let you all know at the end of the meeting how many you did, just to help better ourselves, because sometimes silence is better than having filler words. And I'm also grammarian. So for grammarian, I'll be looking for improper use of the English language.
All right. And the word of the day?
And the word of the day is idoneous, something like that, which means fit, appropriate, suitable, or proper.
All right. Thank you, David. Okay, I stepped away for a few minutes. Who's our timer for tonight?
Cheyenne is our timer for tonight.
Okay, I'd like to introduce the timer, Cheyenne.
Hi everyone, like I said, my name is Cheyenne. I'm going to be the timer. I'll keep track and give a report at the end. So our speeches should be 5 to 7 minutes. And I've been doing a little home renovation / projects. So our green is going to be this microfiber towel. Okay, and then our yellow is going to be this stud finder. And then our red is going to be this drill. So when you see that, then you'll know green, you've met the minimum time. And then when you see the red, you want to start wrapping up. When we get to table topics, there'll be 1 to 2 minute speeches. Same with the color theme. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Cheyenne. So when you see red, you know the drill. So.
We plan that.
Yeah, good one. Mary, it's not always like this. I promise we tell better jokes.
It's always like this.
I'm enjoying the jokes.
I thought it was good.
Okay, so our topics master for tonight will be Kyler.
Good evening. My name is Kyler, and I'll be the table topics master. I'll ask a few open-ended questions that you can answer for about 1 to 2 minutes. This will simulate, your elevator speech, your kind of table topics, situations where someone may ask you a question, you need to think and speak on the fly. I'll be using questions from this little box here. It's very similar to the one that David has. It's just a couple of random, it's actually called table topics, a couple of random questions just to get you thinking. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Kyler. I believe all the roles for tonight, so we will move to the prepared speeches. And our first prepared speech for tonight will be by a person who's making rapid progress through the levels. And she's also our international speech contest winner in our district. And I guess you'll be moving on to the next phase of the competition. But the title of her speech is Active Listening from the Effective Coaching, Level 2, third speech, Introduction to Toastmasters Mentoring. So our first prepared speech will be by Carrie.
Thank you, Maurice. First of all, unfortunately, I didn't win the district. I won the division, but next level
Oh, the division, okay.
was didn't win, but I had a great experience, and then I definitely do it again. I promise. Okay, do not count the timer yet. And now I start. My communication style, number 2. Active listening is the core of my communication style. Although I'm still learning and developing the style, I have a strong confidence of the core. Tonight, I will discuss how I found out that active listening was the most important in my communication style. When I was early 20s, I watched a Japanese TV show about active listening volunteer. Those visited senior people and listened to their talks. The elderly looked very happy to talk about their family, work, school, childhood, and so on. On the TV show, the volunteers discussed what active listening was and its techniques were. This is how I met Keicho, or a Japanese term for active listening, because that TV show was Japanese. When I was late 20s, I finally recognized that people didn't listen or talk to me. When I chatted with a small group of friends, a speaker looked at the other friends, not me. While I was talking, they saw me but didn't look at me. And I felt ignored, out of place, and some angry. I thought they were not nice to me. They're so mean to me. And I yelled in my mind, look at me, talk to me. I had been really thinking why people didn't look at me or talk to me. What was wrong with them? Not me, them. That's what I had thought. However, that happened to me when I talked with my coworkers at office and other groups of friends. So I assumed that it was maybe not about them, about me. And I finally realized that I didn't listen to people. While they were talking, I probably looked around, not at their eyes. I looked bored. Who would like to talk to me who didn't listen to him or her? If I want people to listen to me, I need to listen to them. If I want them to talk to me, I need to listen to them. I needed to change my listening attitude. Then I remembered the Japanese term, keicho. I studied how to listen to people and especially how to let them talk to me. I read the books and the articles. I talked to my supervisor about what I was studying. He gave me the English term, active listening. He said, Carrie, do research on active listening. That's the term you are looking for. This is how I met active listening in English. Ah, this is what the Japanese term was called in English. A light bulb went off in my mind. I Googled the words and I got more information. I gained the new skill of active listening. The result? I saw the big and positive result. People look at me while they're talking. Also, they look very, very happy to talk to me. And that makes me happy too. People like someone who listens to them. This is universally true, regardless of gender, culture, age, and any background. Please look at yourself at Zoom now. You have a one mouth and two ears. Please listen twice as much as you talk. Active listening is the most fundamental to my communication style. I have a strong confidence of the core. Back to Toastmaster.
All right, thank you, Carrie. At this time, we'll go to our second prepared speech. This prepared speech is by Sean. It's entitled Working from Home. And this is Innovative Planning, speech number 4, Researching and Presenting. So at this time, we'll have Sean to present a speech.
Hello, Toastmasters and our guests. Tonight I am here at home in my comfy office with a blanket around me, feeling real comfy. And I'm going to talk about the viewpoints and the benefits and just my experience working from home. I've been working from home for 3 weeks. First time I've ever worked from home, and my 17 years of engineering, and just kind of going through the different aspects of it. And just, I did an overall study of not just my field, but just everybody that has an opportunity to work from home. I know that a lot of our first responders are, for instance, are having to be out and be out there and work for to save lives during this time, and you know, just thankful for to be able to be safe at home and work from home. So 37% of people can realistically work from home, according to a article by the Wall Street Journal. And many walks of life have been working from home the past couple weeks. I've sat in on some friends of mine that are musicians, and they're technically working, doing a concert, streaming it over Facebook Live or whatever. And so, you know, there's doing the speaking over like I'm doing right now, just operating normally via our technology we have at our fingertips. The Brookings Institution has said that this could be a big experiment in telecommuting, working from home. So some of the benefits of working from home are better productivity at the office. I'm getting a little warm. I'm gonna pull this blanket down because, you know, I can do what I want when I work from home. I can wear what I want and be as comfortable as I want to. So I'm just gonna pull this blanket down because I'm getting a little warm. This could be, working from home could be a problem for newer employees. And so I think it's great for people that have been in their field a long time. They have experience and they can kind of go into, get into a groove a lot easier. And I've kind of found that myself while I've been here. Also, shorter trips to the bathroom, that's been great. You know, when you're just, you know, it helps. It helps keep things a little more efficient. So if you have a pet, you could have the pet, you have your dog or cat just kind of snuggle up next to you. So that's nice. It also, working from home can also be beneficial to society as a whole. If you don't have as much traffic, and also, you put less demand on our transportation infrastructure, you can also reduce pollution in that way. So that's a benefit to society. Can also be definitely a benefit to the employee if it's something that they like. But I think it's not for everybody. You can excuse me if you're hearing screaming. That's my daughter outside. But that's part of working from home too, is you got your kids running around. So some benefits of working from home is for the employee is you don't have to pay for gas. You don't have to commute. I can get up later and still be at work on time. You don't have to iron your clothes, different things like that. There are some drawbacks. Working from home can be lonely, and I've definitely dealt with that. I think a lot of people have during this time, is just the lonesomeness a little bit, maybe more some than others, depending on just kind of your living situation and how you deal with that aspect of that challenge. And I think a lot of people are on edge in that regard. They want to work, they're lonely, different things. We all want to get back to normal. And then also working from home, there's another drawback in that your communication style, us being over a video conference, is probably the best way we can be together remotely. But let's say I call you, you don't see my body language, you don't see my facial expression. If I'm trying to work out some sort of problem in let's say for me, an engineering problem, design problem, somebody might tell me something and I'm kind of listening to it, and I respond with a okay, but maybe if they saw my facial expression, they'd see I'm not really following them at all. And so it can be a breakdown of communication. One of the other articles I did my research in was Forbes magazine had an article about working from home recently, and said that reiterating the whole what I just talked about, which is the facial expressions, the meeting in the hallway, the creativity, all of that kind of gets lost when you're remote. And also a lack of team cohesion, which can be sort of resolved by doing virtual coffee breaks or virtual happy hours or different things like that, but doesn't replace the in-person activity. So I also didn't touch on the assumption from the employer standpoint that everybody's doing their job and they're actually working. But right now it's a little bit easier and less tempting to go run out or run to the beach on a weekday and just play hooky. So I think there's not as many opportunities to do that, but I didn't really get into a lot of that. I think in conclusion though, you can expect that when things do get back to normal, your respective employer, if you're in that situation I'm in, will probably want you to come back into the office because they want to keep tabs on you and everything. I personally cannot wait to get back to the office and everything. And I think when we get back in, it will be back to normal, but there'll be some mitigation strategies, more spacing between offices if you're sitting close together, maybe different things like that. Hand sanitizer every couple offices. So, but yes, I'm excited about getting back to normal, and I found this research very interesting. And I'll turn it back over to our Toastmaster, Maurice.
All right,
Thank you.
So we had just listened to a couple of idoneous speeches. Now we'll go on to the table topics, and our table topics master for tonight is Kyler.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Kyler, and I will be your table topics master for tonight. I have a couple questions that I've picked out of this this box of cards, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask the question, and then everyone, whoever's interested in answering it, can raise their hand, and then I'll pick someone from the group to answer it. So I'll start with this one, which is interesting, because recently Cheyenne, with her work, she's been reading stories online, because normally they read stories to kids at the fire department, but you can't do that right now with social distancing. So they've been going through picking out some of their favorite books. So the question I have for whoever's interested in it is, which is the best Dr. Seuss book? All right, Diego.
My fellow Toastmasters and honored guests, the question asked was, what is the best Dr. Seuss story of all time? And there is no more idoneous Dr. Seuss book for me than The Lorax, because The Lorax tells a very important story about environmental stewardship, environmental responsibility, and really emphasizing that we have limited resources, and we need to make sure that whenever we take from our planet, that we are doing it with purpose, not irresponsibly, because anytime that we use something and it's no longer available for other people to use, we are making it more difficult for other people. And I think that's a very important message that the Lorax really communicates. I think I can't think of a better message that really defines the Lorax's lesson, in the sense that, I'm not going to quote it 100% right, but it's something along the lines of, like, things aren't going to change unless people start caring about this issue more. He says it way better. I think the movie and the book, you know, he has such way of words that make it rhyme and things like that. But you get the message that he says, if we continue business as usual, these types of things the consequences are going to be inescapable, and people who care a lot about it are going to be the ones who are going to help steer the ship correctly. For that reason, I feel that the Lorax is the best Dr. Seuss book. I'm going to return the lectern back to our tabletops master, Kyler. Thank you.
Thank you, Diego. That was an excellent short table topic on the Lorax. That's one of our favorite Dr. Seuss books over here too. There's a lot of wisdom in that book. I think, which is great too, because oftentimes, you know, we don't think about it like, you know, kids are going to be the next generation. They're the ones who need to know these things. So I'm thankful for authors like Dr. Seuss who took that into consideration. All right, so during this time, we're all at home. We've been at home for a while. So the question is, does your life feel too busy or not busy enough? All right, Olivia.
Hello, everyone. The question is my life too busy or not busy enough? And my answer to that is, I have an essential job. So working in the aviation field, I have not had the luxury of being off this entire time, and we are on a 3-week shutdown, but I'm required to work 1 of the 3 weeks, so this is my week to work. And I have taken on quite a few tasks. This Zoom.com gave me the idea to do this at my church. So I now host some may call it a Sunday school class. We call it Sabbath school class at church. And now we've started a whole new committee that I think to some kind of way have gotten myself in charge of. So I think in my quest to have some downtime and to just relax, I think I've taken on too much. Or I tell you one thing that I really noticed is the visual noise. Now I see the cobweb, or I see that this needs to be vacuumed or dusted, whereas I usually only have 1 day to look at that. Now I've had quite a few days before I had to go back to work this week. So yeah, the visual noise has gotten loud, and whether I'm doing it or not, I definitely know that I have a lot to do. So I think my life has gotten busier, at least in my head it has. Back to you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Olivia. We appreciate that. Yeah, during this time, especially like essential workers like yourself, I'm very thankful for the extra work that they put in to keep society moving forward, keep the economy going. Okay, so to sort of follow suit with the last question, I saw this one and I liked it because I used to watch a ton of cartoons as a kid, and I still watch a ton of cartoons as an adult. So today I want to ask you guys, which cartoons did you watch when you were a kid?
Okay, I'll take a stab at that one.
All right, sounds good.
Fellow Toastmasters and honored guests, some of the cartoons that I've watched when I was coming up, one example was Scooby-Doo. Another example, Flintstones, Josie and the Pussycats. And the standard ones, the Looney Tunes series, Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, and then the standard Disney cartoons with Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, etc. And then that's basically it. And then there were some obscure ones looking back. Let me see. So as an example of a relatively obscure cartoon series. Well, I can't think of it now, but that's a summary of the cartoons that I've watched when I was coming up. Back to the Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Maurice. I appreciate that. Yeah, I've been revisiting some of the old Chuck Jones Looney Tunes. And as a kid, you know, it's fun because it's a cartoon, but watching it again as an adult, you're like, this is really funny. Like he was really smart with his humor and some of the jokes he made that totally go over your head as a kid. And just like, so it's interesting, even though it's entertainment intended for children, there's a lot that, you know, adults can get out of it too, as far as just kind of, you know, how it depicts society and the world around us. So that concludes our table topic session. I will now give it back to the Toastmaster. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, we will go into our evaluation period, the evaluation portion of the meeting, and our general evaluator for tonight is Olivia.
Hello, everyone, and I am the general evaluator for tonight, and I will call up the evaluation as well as the timers reports before I give my evaluation. So let's start with evaluation of Carrie's speech, and that is being done by Majid. Carrie, her speech was about active listening. Majid, your turn at the lectern.
Hello. Hope everyone is doing good in this work from home lockdown evenings. We hope that we hope that this ends pandemic ends soon, and we will be still able to go back to our place where we could see each other and physically attend the meeting. So evening, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests. Today I got the opportunity, actually I got the second opportunity to evaluate our leading Toastmaster, Kauri. So it was very exciting topic, and especially active listening is part of how we are building ourselves here, active listening. And it's a inspiration that how we put out steps and effects of it, how she classified it. So I really liked the speech overall, and especially the vocal variety that she was able to introduce here and there when she said, "Look at me, talk to me." So that's exciting part, that you got attention from everyone. And especially when step one comes, that you feel there's something wrong on the other side, then you need to realize from the other side that it could be from our side too. So you're able to, your ability to explain it step by step. I liked it, like you got it in a straight fashion, and especially you were able to relate everything to you. So you are still presenting the basics, but you are relating it to in your context. So it's very real and honest. And you were able to use some hand movement and some kind of physical gestures as you use your ears and mouth expression. That was also very real, that you have one mouth and two ears, shows logic behind it too, and you were able to present it in a nice way that once anybody sees, not only listens, but you have that impression in your mind. So that's second gesture that I like. So I'm very happy the way it went overall. But as on the score, have set as a completion of almost all the topics. But seeing at your previous speech topics and the vision that you have already created with us, there's one thing I wanted to to see if I could throw it out to you, see if there's something you could come up with. Like, now we are in remote kind of atmosphere, so see if you could bring something new to the team. Like I presented mine, I was sitting, so, and you presented once when you're standing, to see if there's some opportunity in this in remote kind of scenario where you could enhance or do something new, because you are one of the leader in our group. So I want to throw it out to you, see if you could bring something innovative, something new to us, to a team from you. But overall, engagement, keeping attention, your hand gestures were very good. Thumbs up. I think they worked well. And you have set the bar too high for vocal variety, so I gave you a little opportunity there, but it's just the remote atmosphere that we are in. So with this, I don't want to drill myself down, and the idoneous of the situation is, I'll hand it back to Mr. General, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Majid.
Okay, I keep trying to use my space bar to unmute myself, but it's not working for some reason. Thank you so much, Majid, and thank you for your evaluation of Carrie's speech. And next, let's talk about Sean's speech. His speech was about working from home, and your evaluator is, oops. Cheyenne, is that you? Are you evaluating this?
Olivia, I'm evaluating Sean.
Okay. I apologize. I don't know why I don't have your name written down. Yes, I do. Yeah, second evaluator. Diego. Okay, Diego, take it away. Thank you.
Thank you, Olivia. Thank you, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests tonight. And a big thank you to Sean for developing another prepared speech for our weekly meetings. Especially thank you focusing on delivering a topic that is on everyone's mind these past few days. Sean, I have a few comments that I want to share with you tonight about your speech. Sean, it's a really good sign. I think a really great way to capture an audience's attention is with an opening fantastic statistic. And you made that point by pointing out that statistic from the Washington Post or whatever, correct me, correct, you know what source you used. It was good. That really sets perspective and lets the audience really understand the scope of the topic that you are going to share with us tonight. It is clear that you are clearly developing a better understanding of how to give a nice prepared speech, because usually the beginner speeches don't open in that manner. So that's a very good thing that I want to see you continue to exercise in your future prepared speeches. Unfortunately, Sean, I can't help but notice that you still seem to use filler words from time to time. And I get the sense that that's coming from you want to, and I guess I'm kind of doing it right now, I suppose. I feel that, again, you're uncomfortable with the silence, and it's important that to incorporate silence into whatever part of prepared speech that you're doing, to let this audience listen and stew on a sentence that you just made as you transition into the next comment that you want to make. So accept silence as a friend, as a tool for your prepared speeches to really embody and enhance the message of your prepared speech. Sean, it's clear that you are able to think well on your feet, because it was good that you were making a point. You started off your speech by showcasing a blanket across your shoulders, and then you made that point to deliver. Oh, and it's the great thing about working from home is having comfortable clothing. So it's clear that you are able to think more and more on your feet and incorporate some sudden experiences into your speech. That was also showcased again when you pointed out that your daughter was making some noises, and you said, well, that's a great point to bring up, that I could spend more time with my family. So it's clear that you have great mastery of adapting to on-the-fly situations when it comes to doing your prepared speeches. So I don't know why you come off a bit uncomfortable during the speeches. It's clear that you are ready to comment on things in your prepared speech while also delivering the main message of your speeches. So going forward, Sean, I want to encourage you to incorporate more vocal variety into your next speeches, because now it's clear that you know how to make an important message with your speech. You've researched the important topics, the main message of your prepared speech, and you know how to adapt on the fly when you have out of unexpected experiences come into your prepared speech. So now the next level is adding some more emotion and more enthusiasm and more liveliness to the next prepared speech that you give. Those are the main takeaways I wanted to share with you all about Sean's speech. Thank you so much again, Sean, and I'm going to return the lectern back to Olivia. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Diego. And yes, I enjoyed your speech as well, Sean. And I think it's only idoneous that I continue to call on the rest of the report. So I will start with grammarian and R counter by David, please. If you will give us your report.
Hi again. This evening I was the awe counter and the grammarian. I'll start with the word of the day. Olivia just used it for a second time, idoneous. And so Olivia used it twice. Diego used it once. Majid used it once. And hopefully I didn't leave anybody out. But that's the notes I had on the word of the day. As far as the use of the English language, I didn't see anything that stood out that was worth commenting on. I thought everybody did a good job with the use of the English language. For awe counting, I'll start with Carrie. Her speech, I did not notice any filler words. Maurice, for his evaluation or evaluation, I did not notice any filler words. Diego had no filler words as usual. I did not notice any filler words with Olivia. No, I did. Actually, Olivia had a couple of uhs and a couple of so's, but they were really quick and barely noticeable on your table topic. As table topics master, Kyler had several ums and a couple of you knows, but that's okay. I think something Majid had made note of when he was evaluating Carrie's speech is that Zoom or doing things online really changes the dynamics. So it's easy sometimes to forget things. Like we can be comfortable like we're just sitting at home, but it's good to remember that we're in a speech setting. So it's so I thought he had a good point there. Majid, in his evaluation of Carrie's speech, I counted like about 4 ums and a couple of you knows, but not I think Majid is improving on the ahs and ums. And like like Diego mentioned on Sean's speech, I think Sean was sort of comfortable at home and just went a little bit crazy with the uhs and you knows, but it's easy to do. I'll do it if I forget. It's like I have to make a conscious effort, and those words are coming out of my mouth. If I forget, I'll start doing them a lot. So it's not it's not at all unusual. But there was quite a few. I think I've covered everyone as far as filler words. So that spoke. Thank you. And back to general evaluator.
Yes, thank you. There I go with my space bar not working again. But I think the only thing we have left now is to go over the timers report. And I don't know about you guys, but that drill was scaring the daylights out of me. I kept saying, no, that's the drill. Okay, Cheyenne, it's time for your report. Thank you.
All right. Well, the drill is not loaded. You can see, you can check the chamber. There's nothing in there and no battery. So Kyler was safe. No Kylers were harmed in the timing of this meeting. All right. So for our speeches, Carrie, your speech was 5 minutes and 15 seconds. And Sean, yours was 8 minutes and 45 seconds. The table topics, Diego, 1 minute and 56 seconds. Olivia, 1 minute and 38 seconds. Maurice, 1 minute and 10 seconds. And then for our evaluations, Majid, you did 3 minutes and 27 seconds. Diego, you did 4 minutes on the dot. And that is all.
Thank you very much, Cheyenne. And I will now give my complete general evaluation of the meeting. We were all here roughly around 6:45. The meeting really kicked off at 6:52. But I am so proud of all of us that keep coming to zoom.com despite all the difficulties. My internet is not the fastest. So that in and of itself is just a hurdle that we have decided to overcome. The fact that everyone is continuing to do speeches every week is just amazing. I don't even think I didn't think that I would even want to try to do a speech on Zoom, but I'm going to sign up to do one next week. So I'm encouraged. Thank you very much for Carrie and her content speeches. You are just such a motivation to us all. Active listening. Look at me. I know you always say that, and you and I are alike in that area because we do like to be in the forefront. We're not camera shy, and that is a good quality to have, especially when you're trying to be a leader or a public speaker. So it's awesome that you already possess that skill, and thank you for sharing that with us. And Sean, working from home, when you came back out with that blanket, that was just too funny to me. So, and you're right, you get to wear what you want to wear, and there are definitely some pros from working at home. But the biggest thing that I noticed that working at home is I don't get any of my steps in. I mean, I barely get 2,000 to 3,000 steps in a day, whereas at work I'm usually 8,000 to 10,000. So working at home and being so close to the snack cabinet is not well for me. But anyway, thank you so much for your speech. The use of the day was pretty good. I tried to send you guys a reminder to tell everybody over in the group chat, don't forget to use the word of the day. So I just think that it's idoneous that I remind you guys that we need to definitely use the word of the day. Thank you so much, Miss Mary, for joining us and being our guest tonight. And I don't know, again, I would think that would be kind of scary that the first time someone saw me would be on a camera, especially mine, because it is not the best camera in the world, but you look great over there, so we're just glad to have you. And that is it for my general evaluation. I'm going to turn this lecture back over to our Toastmaster. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Olivia. Now for the awards today. Who's presented awards?
Say, was that a
Awards.
rhetorical question?
Huh?
What did you say, Maurice?
Awards.
Oh, I believe Olivia and Cheyenne still have to put in the, let Toastmasters know that they completed level 1.
Oh, yes. Okay. I will.
Yes.
I will. I got the email. My apologies.
That's right.
Okay. Okay, but there's another award,
Who's the other award? I don't know.
a level 2 award.
Is it Carrie?
Well, she'll put in for it when she's after this meeting, but I'm talking about as of last week.
Okay.
Oh, well, no problem. I'll just do a screen share right now. Just
Okay, thank you.
Oh, it's disabled. Oops. Okay, no, you don't have to enable it.
Okay, I'm gonna enable so you can share it.
Okay. Okay, still not. Okay, still.
Okay, I just made you co-host, so now you should be able to try it now.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Let me see if I can. Okay, you see it? Uh-oh. Let me. Oh, you know what? Here we go. Share.
Oh, it's Maurice. Okay,
I
great.
knew that's what it was going to be.
All right, gang, let's give Maurice a big round of applause for completing level 2.
Very good, Maurice.
All right.
Way to set the example.
All right.
And we'll put a member spotlight up on you for our Facebook page.
Yes, sir. And then next week we'll have 2 more. Well, besides Olivia and Cheyenne, we have 2 more because of the speeches that were completed tonight.
Oh, wonderful. Carrie and Sean will have completed a level.
Yes.
Great. That's again giving us a big step forward for our distinguished club status. Great work, everyone.
Yes.
Maurice, what was your reward for level 2, or what was that?
Innovative planning.
Thank you.
So at this time, I will relinquish the lectern back to the president.
Thank you, Maurice. Thank you for serving as Toastmaster role for tonight. Thank you all so much for serving in the agenda roles for tonight. And we are a minute over, so please sign up on Easy Speak for next week's roles. I'm sure we already have 2 prepared speeches set for next week. So we will need evaluators and stuff. So please, when you have the opportunity, go on Easy Speak and sign up for a role. Thank you all so much, and see you next week. The Zoom link will be continued to be used. It'll be the same Zoom link.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Thanks for having me.
Good night.
Thanks, Mary, for coming.